Hey guys, how you going? It's Twigsta here. Just got a new patch note coming up. I believe they're releasing it next week. It is 0.32. Thought I'd run down it real quick. I will leave the full patch notes in the description below, so if you did want to have a read, they'll be down there for you. So we'll go through this real quick. Hey all, time for another balance update. In this patch, we're continuing our work improving mages and their itemization, along with reducing the viability of mages running into tank items. Countess. We're also tuning some tank and assassins, and looking to give Reverence some post-release love. We're also slightly increasing the length of early game by bumping up the health and mana per level that all heroes receive early game, but reducing the amount they receive later. Towers are also getting a slight durability boost in the first part of the game to lengthen the laning phases a bit. So what's next? In addition to the usual monitoring of feedback and data from this patch, as well as our upcoming release of a certain pop star, Gen B, our eyes are now fixed on the carry role as the focus for our 0.4 balance update, where we'll be looking to vastly improve the itemization and build paths. This has been pushed back due to a ton of new features being implemented in 0.4 in a few weeks. Okay, matchmaking improvements. Nice. We've heard your feedback regarding matchmaking and the changes that we've made in patch 0.3. With that in mind, we're looking to make further adjustments. It is clear we overshot a bit of our party modifier. Probably just a bit. It's too aggressive, and we also had a larger impact on the top end of our MMR bracket than desired. Matchmaking is a beast that we were bound to slip up once in a while. Okay. We appreciate your patience and feedback when we miss the mark like this, and hope the following changes improve the experience for all players. We've tightened up matchmaking, search parameters. Our goal is always to increase match quality. Through this change may also lead to slightly longer matchmaking times. Yeah, right. In addition, pool parties of experienced players will have to wait longer queues, but should allow more time for the system to find more fair matchups. We will be monitoring these changes closely. We've reduced the impact of the party modifier, hopefully leading to better quality matches across the majority of player base. We'll continue to monitor these changes. Great work. I actually love this change. I know we might have to wait an extra minute or two, but hopefully that pairs itself with better people, or people that are at least in our bracket, because there's been some matches where I've got completely slaughtered because either most of my team were new, or I was paired up with new people, or maybe our team was too good and they just got completely slaughtered. It's never really been a fair fight. Most of the time it's always been almost one-sided. Maybe we have 3 really good players and 2 new players. I don't mind playing with new people, but when we're trying to find that middle ground, and sometimes I mess up. I'm not saying I'm a great player, but sometimes we got to find that middle ground and actually have a good game. So hopefully this is on that step towards that. So I'm glad they're doing this, and I know it's not going to be perfect yet, and they're going to slip up a bit more, and it's always going to be fine-tuned. So don't expect everything to be perfect right now. We are in early access. All right, hero changes. Continuing from the above, we're increasing the regen to help players get back into the action a lot quicker. Also, due to item changes, heroes' recommended items have been updated. That's good, to reflect the recent changes. Health and mana regen base increased from 12.5% to 18% per second. Various hero recommended builds have changed. Okay, S factor. Here's S factor is with Gala. This determines how much of their stats they get from their growth. A hero with large S factor will get more of their growth stats earlier in game. On average, the changes made with this patch will create less variance in per level. That's an increase the amount of stats heroes are receiving in early game. This will affect health and mana the most, meaning TTK should rise a little bit in the early stages of the game. Alright, I'm not going to read these little blurbs, but this one I will read because Countess was just unkillable. Here we're looking at stopping the tank Countess abuse case that was causing her to becoming basically unkillable. This should return her to her high damage squishy burst mage as she is. Alright, her first ability, her lifesteal per stack has decreased from 2% to 1.5. Her blade siphon base healing per target has decreased from 10 and scales downwards now. Her healing scaling increased from 5% to 6%. Her E base damage has decreased from 80 and scaling downwards now. Her scaling increased from 70% to 75. Okay. Bang Mao. You guys can read this. Bug fixed where issue where Fang Mao's passive stated it had physical power scaling. Earth Shatter. Physical power scaling decreased from 80% to 70%. Execution physical power scaling decreased from 100% to 80%. Execution physical penetration scaling increased from 250 to 350. That's definitely going to be a noticeable difference. I think he's yeah, I like this change. When you see really good Fang Maoers, like they go off. So he definitely needed that. And it's not much of a nerf, it's just really to his ult. Probably isn't even much of a nerf at all, because you get more scaling now. Anyway, so increased her base health from 560 now to 590, and her Q is scaling increased from 55% to 60%. Gideon. Okay, his mana's changed. Scaling increased, his Q scaling increased from 65% to 70. Mana cost increased. Yeah, this didn't cost much mana at all before. From 80 and now scaling upwards. And his torn space mana cost increased from 60 to 80. Yeah, I agree with that. No, my man, Chloe's coming up. Bug fix issued and fixed an issue where Howard's slow grenade description was displayed incorrectly. Now his missile scaling increased from 70% to 75%. So nothing too major there. Gonna get a nerf, isn't she? Base attack speed decreased from 120 to 110. Attack speed growth decreased from 3.3 to 2.8, and a bug fix which fixed causing mark death to scale with 5.5% of your physical power instead of 3%. Crippling dagger scaling decreased from 90 to 85. You're definitely gonna notice them. I don't know how I feel about this. I think when you're playing Clary competitively, like really high-end play, Clary's not very viable because everyone knows how to deal with her. So when we have ranked, you're gonna see high-ranked players probably not use Clary as much, where she's really good against people that, you know, make mistakes and don't know what they're doing. So it's going to be interesting to see if they scale her up for competitive play or what they do with her. So I love her. Like, she's my main, but you see in high ranking matches that she doesn't get used nearly as much. I'm talking really high rank where people barely mess up. Like, she's there for people that mess up. Alright, Belica. I know she just got a buff, so what's happening now? Seismic Assault scaling increased. Oh, she's getting buffs from 65% to 70%. I like that. Cooldown decreased from 16 and now scaling downwards. Avoid drone base damage increased from 80, now scaling upwards. And her scaling increased from 20% to 30%. I know she just recently got a buff, but this should definitely help her a lot more, especially Seismic Assault, as a support, because I think she's not a good support. Because when you get to pick Richter, Narbash, Bellica, Decker, much more stronger choices in Bellica. Mid is one of my top favorites, but I think all the mids are very viable. Alright, Murdoch getting just a small buff. Health growth from 84 to 88. Muriel getting a small decrease of mana cost from 100 and scaling downwards. Narbash. Base mana increased from 380 to 480. Mana growth decreased from 70 to 60. Base mana regen 1 to 1.5. Song of My People. Mana drain from 10 now, and was scaling upwards, now just to a solid 20. I think that's good. Late game, mana drain won't happen nearly as much. Healing per second increased from 5 and now scaling upwards. Beat stack increased from 1 to now 2. And mana cost increased from 50 to 60. That's good. I think he's going to be a lot better now with sustain. And like it says, mid to late game, when he keeps these abilities rolling, he'll be able to do that. That's good. Revi already getting something different. You know what? Just because he's the new character and it's long, I'm actually going to read this. Based on feedback we've received from the community, we're increasing his rate of fire. Good, they're listening. We're also looking at increasing his damage for his 4th shot, especially against high health targets. Yeah, I think he needed that for high health targets. To emphasize his trading pattern in lane, to make sure that his 4th hit feels much more impactful. His base power and obliterate damage have been reduced to compensate and make him more about poking with his 4th auto rather than shoving. Alongside this comes QOL changes to make obliterate, I'll say that word, better track your targets to help avoid the pesky near misses. Yes. Speaking of obliterate, magical power scaling has been increased and has been added to Scar to better pair with that can build Crystal Tier to increase his damage. What this means is that magical power Revenant may now be a thing if you're feeling spicy. That'd be cool. Might try that one day. Yeah, it wasn't very viable before. Okay, base physical power decreased from 57 to 52. Base attack timer now decreased from 1.1 to 1.01. Not a bad increase. Attack timer reduced per level, decreased from 0.018 to 0.014. Okay, his Q base damage decreased from 60 and now scaling downwards. Scaling decreased from 50% to 40%. His missile modifier increased from 15% to 20%. His magical power scaling increased from 75% to 100. His range, which you definitely needed this one, from 1500 to 1750. Cone angle decreased from 60 to 55. Definitely needed this. There's been so many times where, I start using the Q and they move back just slightly off range and it misses everything. I don't think those little missiles went far enough. But that's a significant increase. It might not seem like much, but You'll notice it. Base okay, his hellfire rounds. Base missing. Health damage increased from 4%, 6%, decreased from 6% to 4%. His critical damage changed from 125, now scaling upwards until the very end. That's a nice change. Damn. I like that. His scar bonus magical damage increased from 15% to 100. Added now 80% magical power scaling. Richter, his health has been decreased from 560 now to 540. Sevi definitely needed some love. Was mainly pretty easy to kill. Unless you're really good with him, then he was really annoying. But anyway. Health growth increased from 92 to 102. Base physical armor increased from 28 now to 31. Nice. His siphon base damage increased from 25 and now scaling upwards. His cooldown decreased for his Phantom Rush from 25 now to 20 and scaling down. Still, probably got a nerf. Base damage decreased from 50 now to 40 and scaling downwards. His stun duration decreased from 0.5 seconds to 0.3. That always felt longer than 0.5 seconds. I always felt like I was stuck in this stun for a while. His range now is decreased from 325 to 300. His force shield base damage decreased from 60 now to 30. Whoa, half. Whoa. Oh, it's his force. Yeah. Okay, and scales down. Damn, that's a big difference. Alright, item changes. I hate this item. They're probably going to change it a lot, I think. Hopefully. When Greystone comes out. Because, get this. Greystone's ability, ult ability, if you don't know, is he basically gets reborn and comes down and does damage around. So if he had this as well, dies from his ult, then comes down, fights, then dies, uses the Phoenix, comes back alive, and during that time, his ult is getting recharged. So after he uses the Phoenix, fights for a little bit more, dies again, but his ult's back, comes back alive as he's fighting again. This is regenerating again, dies, uses this, and snowballs. So when Greystone comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if they change this quite a bit. I think, depending how you play and how it works at that time, this could become out of hand for Greystone. But you know, this is probably going to get a few buffs and nerfs before that happens. So we'll see what happens. Okay, rebirth location marker duration decreased from 6 seconds now to 4 seconds. Brimstone bug fixed where an issue was causing Brimstone to draw power aggro. Really? Blaze. The base damage decreased from 20 to 12. Additional damage to monsters increased, well, 50% to 100%. Look what that does. Okay. Demise scaling decreased from 30% to 10%. Nightfall, just a bug fix. Fix an issue where the Eclipse passive was granting 10% Omnivamp rather than 5. Essentially decrease. A nerf, but that was never meant to happen. Okay. The Catalyst. Magical power increased from 50 to 60. Mana decreased from 350 to 300. I still love this weapon. I'm definitely going to be using it. Okay, Azora's Core. Scaling increased from 3% of the maximum mana to 4%. Bastion. Base damage decreased from 80 to 70. Scaling increased from 10 to 18. Boombinder. Cost increased from 290 to 3000. Magical power increased from 60 to 80. Health decreased from 250 to 350 to 250. Build path change. Now you need all these weapons instead. Okay, Golem's Gift. Magical increased. Oh, my phone's ringing. Very sorry, guys. Damn. Magical power increased from 60 to 70%. Next item. Magical power increased from 50 to 60. I don't really use this much, so I don't know too much about it. Oathkeepers, their power increased from 60 to 70. Health decreased from 250 to 200. Okay, the Cerebral Spellblade passive. Magical power scaling increased from 40 to 50%. And the Oblivion Crown bug fix. The visual effects now correctly display on the target. Cool. Spellbreaker. I love this item. Magical power increased from 55 to 60. Painted Scepter. Magical power increased from 65 to 70. And a rework of the Time Warp. Now costs 3,300. Now has 100 magical power. Has 15 ability armor. Has 15 ability haste. Casting an item grants 6 magical power and 3 physical armor for 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Time every 5 seconds. Subtract 0.5 from your current cooldown abilities. Builds from. Okay, that's the build you need to get it. I don't think I've used this too much, but I might actually start using it just for ability cooldown and ability haste. We'll see if we can make an ability haste build for some of the characters. Definitely want to try that. Try Reverent one actually. We'll do that with his new magical stuff, and we'll just keep shooting out his missiles and see what happens. That'd be fun. And that'd be good for Shimby as well, actually, with the wolf stacks when she comes out. Actually, yeah, I'm definitely making this for Shimby. Definitely making that for Shimby. Alright, Warbreaker. Bug fix. Fix an issue where the passive would stack up 5 times instead of 4. Next item, a small scaling decreased from 5% to 4%. Fire Bloom now blocks Brimstone from being bought once owned. Oh, so you can't buy Brimstone and this, is that what it's saying? Making changes to Fire Bloom as we did with Brimstone. We also blocking being bought into junction. Okay. Yeah. Blaze damage decrease from 25 to 15. Additional damage versus immobilized targets increased by 50% to 100. Damn, I like that. Okay. A bit of renewal. Haste decrease from 15 to 100 to 10. Regenerator. Passive healing from damage taken increased from 10% to 15%. Rework from increasing all healing received by 15% to gain health regeneration equal to 1% of your bonus health. I like that. Good. Alright, here's the changes to the towers. I'll read this. While you are there to protect your towers, we wanted them to pack a little more of a punch themselves by upping the base and the maximum damage for all 3 towers while slightly adjusting their damage per level scaling. Keep an eye on those towers, dives, interactions, and would love to hear your feedback. This is definitely going to get changed again in the near future, but for now, the outer base damage increased from 118 to 130. Nice. Damage per level decreased from 12 to 10. Damage cap increased from 238 to 250. and these next two are the exact same, so I'll just say one of them. The inner and the inhibitor base damage increased from 140 to 154. Damage per level for both is 14 to 12, and damage cap increase for both is 280 to 286. Definitely like that. Less tower dives are going to happen as much. I still think they will happen, which is good. I like tower diving. It's just now you're just going to get a bit more punished for it. And yeah, we'll see how this change works and whether they increase it even higher or decrease it slightly. We will see. Bug fixes. You guys can read this on your own. I won't read that. Probably nothing too big in there. But anyway, that looks like it's it. Next patch, we should be getting Shinbi. I'm very keen for. I never really played it too much in Paragon, but I definitely went up against her a lot. But I definitely want to try her out. Again, patches are most likely happening every 2 weeks. There'll be patches in 2 weeks, and then second 2 weeks another character comes out, and a few other patches there as well. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about these patch notes, and I will have it linked in the bottom if you want to have a second read. And yeah, see you guys in my next video. Talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.